Think Etsy is a safe place to shop? Think again. Etsy has exploded in popularity, offering one-of-a-kind items you won't find anywhere else. But with millions of users, it also becomes a hotbed for scammers looking to take advantage of unsuspecting buyers. Today, we're diving straight into the most common Etsy scams and, more importantly, how you can protect yourself. Etsy is a massive online marketplace with over 96 million active buyers and around 9 million active sellers as of 2023. It's a place where you can find unique, handmade items and vintage treasures that you won't see on other platforms. But with this level of popularity comes a downside: scams. As Etsy has grown, so has the number of fraudulent activities on the platform. Scammers are constantly evolving their tactics to deceive both buyers and sellers. Throughout this video, we'll break down the most common scams you might encounter on Etsy, and more importantly, how to avoid them. First up, fake Etsy sellers. These scammers create bogus shops, list items, take your money, and disappear. You pay, but your product never arrives. In one real example, a buyer ordered a custom book, but after weeks of waiting, the shop just vanished, leaving the customer with no way to get their money back. Always check seller reviews and look for any red flags before making a purchase. Next, counterfeit products. Some sellers use misleading photos and descriptions to pass off fake or low quality items as actually genuine. For instance, a customer bought what they thought was a rare collectible, only to receive a cheap knockoff. To avoid this, carefully review the product descriptions and compare prices with similar items. Then there are wrong address scams. Here's how it works. A seller deliberately ships your item to the wrong address, often in a different city. You get a tracking number, but the item never reaches you. One customer's package was sent to a stranger in San Francisco, even though the receipt showed LA. Always double check your shipping information and monitor your order's progress. Finally, phishing scams. These scams target both buyers and sellers, often through fake emails or direct messages that look like they're from Etsy. They might ask you to confirm a payment or verify your account, but the real goal is to steal your personal information. One seller received a message asking them to authenticate a new listing, complete with their shop logo. The link redirected them to a fake website where their bank details were almost nearly stolen. Remember, Etsy will never ask you for your details outside of its platform. If something feels off, don't click, simply report it instead. Now that you know the most common scams, let's talk about how to spot and avoid them. Spotting scams on Etsy isn't always easy, but there are some key red flags to watch out for. Red flag number 1. Prices that seem too good to be true. If an item is significantly cheaper than similar products, it's more than likely a scam. One buyer found a designer bag at a fraction of the usual price, only to receive a counterfeit product that was nowhere near what was advertised. Red flag number 2. Poorly written product descriptions and stock photos. Scammers often rush to set up fake shops and don't spend time crafting accurate descriptions or even using real photos. For example, a customer bought a piece of jewelry that looked stunning in the photos, but the actual product was a cheap replica. The description was filled with errors and the photos were clearly stock images. Red flag number 3. Sellers asking you to complete transactions outside of Etsy. This is a major red flag. Off-platform transactions aren't covered by Etsy's purchase protection, leaving you vulnerable to scams. One buyer was convinced to pay through a direct PayPal link and ended up losing their money when the seller simply vanished. Red flag number 4. Unresponsive or evasive communication. If a seller takes too long to reply or avoids answering specific questions, be cautious. A shopper tried to get more details about a custom order, but the seller kept dodging questions. Eventually, the shop disappeared without even delivering the item. Red flag number 5. Suspicious messages and links. If you receive unsolicited messages that ask you to click on a link, especially those claiming account issues or urgent action needed, do not fall for it. These are often phishing attempts designed to steal your information. One seller received a fake Etsy email about a payment issue and almost lost their bank details after clicking on a fraudulent link. By keeping an eye out for those red flags, you can avoid most scams on Etsy. Always trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it more than likely isn't. If you've been scammed on Etsy, it's crucial to act fast. And here's what you need to do. Step 1. Report the incident to Etsy immediately. Go to the listing or shop page. Click Report this item to Etsy or Report this shop and provide all the details. This helps Etsy investigate and potentially shut down the scammer's account. Step 2. File a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Reporting the scam to the FTC can help prevent others from falling victim to the same tactics. Step 3. Contact your bank or credit card company. If you provided payment information or made a payment, notify your bank immediately. They can help you block or reverse the transaction and secure your account against further unauthorized charges. Step 4. Change your Etsy password along with any other accounts that might be at risk. If scammers have access to your Etsy account, changing your password quickly can prevent them from causing any further damage. Taking these steps right away can limit the impact of a scam and protect your account from further issues. Let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We discussed the common scams on Etsy, how to spot red flags, and the steps to take if you find yourself a victim. The key takeaway: stay alert and do not ignore the warning signs. If you've encountered a scam on Etsy, share your story in the comments below. Your experience can help others avoid the same pitfalls. You can also leave a detailed review on platforms like PissedConsumer.com to warn others. If you've made it this far into the video, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for more tips on staying safe while shopping online. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.